Hello hemline family, welcome back to our custom hoodies series. In this tutorial we are focusing on the hoodie pant. That's the 102. The 101 is focused on the hoodie itself. The video is on my channel. You can do well to check it out. Okay, so this pant is made from fleece fabric, which gives it comfort and warm. It's going to be a straight leg fit pant. The pant will fall from the hip, straight from the hip to the ankle. It's not going to be skinny, it's not going to be flared. Do well to get a good fabric when you're buying yours. Okay, so let's dive into the measurement. I had cut the size I want because of how weighty the fabric is. Okay, so for the front of the trouser, we're going to be using 2 inches band, so we kept that 2 inches up there. All right, and we start imputing our vertical measurement. Okay, so you take your hip measurement, that is where it's gonna be. For your crouch, you sit on the chair just like this picture, and you take your crouch measurement down just like it is in this picture. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take our measurement. Remember, the waist is, we use band on the waist, so the measurement we're going to be using on the hip is going to be the same measurement we're going to be using on the waist. Okay, because we're going to be using a waistband. Okay, for the crotch extension, we're going to use 1 lap circumference divided by 2. Measure your round lap divided by 2. That is where you're going to place your crotch measurement. Or the second method is you measure your hip circumference, you divide it by 4. You go ahead and divide what you have by 4. Then at that placement where your hip measurement is, you extend it. If you had 10 on your hip measurement divided by 4, when you divide all of this, it's going to be like 2.5. You extend 2.5 from that hip measurement. All right, and you place it there. That is going to be your crotch extension. The next thing we're going to work on is the base. Okay, like I said, it's going to be a very free pant. Okay, so we use our hip measurement down there. Okay, whatever we used up at the hip, we go ahead and use it down at the base, and then we connect the two just like this. Okay, and we go ahead and cut it out. All right, so after cutting it out, we're going to place it on the back placement just like this. Okay, and we start working on the back. Okay, so at the crouch, we're going to extend it by 3 inches. Okay, just like I did right now. Okay, so we extend it by 3 inches, and up here we use 2 inches, and then we connect them just like so. Okay, so we extend it towards the base with 2.5 inches, and we continue using the 2.5 down to the base. Okay, so we use 2.5 down to the base, and after that we go ahead and connect the dots just like this, and after that we go to the topmost top of the waist. Okay, and we use 2 inches. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and slant it in. Okay, so we use 2 inches over here, we connect it down just like this. Okay, and after that we're going to go ahead and cut it out, because basically this is all for our pant. Okay, so we cut it out just like this, and the next thing we're going to be working on is the pocket. We label this the front. Okay, so on this part we're going to come down by 1 inch. Okay, and we're going to go down by 7 inches. Okay, you can use 8 inches if your hand is wider. All right, so we just go in by 1 inch just like this, and we connect it. Okay, it's gonna be a seam pocket. Okay, so we just go ahead and connect it just like so, and we cut it out. All right, just like this. After cutting it out, we're going to go ahead and cut the pocket itself. All right, so just like this, we're going to go ahead and pick this fabric. Okay, fold it into 4 and we'll be using 11 by 9 inches. Okay, you can make yours bigger or wider. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and come down by 7 inches just like we did before, and we equally come down by 1 inch. Okay, exactly what we use on the trouser, and then we slant it in just like this and we cut it out. Okay, so after cutting it out, we will be having 2 pieces of this seam pocket. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and join our trouser. Okay, so we join our trouser just like this. We run a straight stitch down there, and we run a straight stitch at the back as well, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and join the pocket. Okay, so you pick your pocket just like this and join it together like this. Place it like this, run a straight stitch, okay, and flip it over before you join. This is what you're going to be joining straight, and this is what it looks like. Okay, I went ahead and I joined it, and this is what it looks like. So we're going to go ahead and place it this way and run a top stitch. Okay, we're going to run a top stitch down, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so after running the top stitch, this is what we have. We're going to go ahead, arrange it properly, join the top, okay, and join the down as well. Pin it down just like this. Okay, join the upper part of it, and then try to close this other part of the joining. Okay, and you're going to do this, okay, to this part, and you're going to repeat the process on the other side. You join the up, you join the down, you repeat the process, and this is what we have. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring the back piece, okay, and we're going to go ahead and join. This is what the back looks, the back of the pocket looks. Okay, it is sitting pretty right there. We have our seam pocket, okay, sitting pretty right there. So we're going to go ahead and use the 1 inch left there to join our back to the front. We're going to hold the crotch area together like so and run a straight stitch down to the base. Okay, so this is what we have. This is our seam pocket sitting really pretty right there. It's going to be functional. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be working on our elastic waistband. Okay, this elastic waistband is going to allow flexibility across different body size. Okay, so we took 2.5 inches, okay, and then after measuring the round waist of what you have, we're using a 2 inches elastic. Okay, so you're going to pick the elastic just like this, place it on the round measurement that you have there, and you deduct 6 inches away from it, okay, just to give it a nice fit and placement like. Okay, so we went ahead and cut the elastic. All right, remember we're going to be using a drawstrings. Okay, and for my drawstrings I didn't use this eyelet because it's the head of my drawstring, that gold thing right there, was too big to pass through this eyelet, so I improvised. Okay, I wanted to use this, but it was too big, it did not pass through. Okay, but that's another beautiful way to give it a fine design at the top there. So what I did was I held it together. Okay, I held it together, I joined it. Okay, and I left like a 1 inch, okay, like a hole there. I joined the up, I joined the down. At the middle I left like a 1 inch little bit of hole. This is what I mean. Okay, that is where my drawstrings is going to pass through the band. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and bring in our band just like this, and then divide what you have there by 3 and go ahead and run a stitch while sewing, endeavor to drag the elastic so that it will equate the measurement that you have at the end of the day. Okay, so this is what I have. You can see now I'll use a pin and pass my drawstrings, okay, into it. So we're going to go ahead and join this to the trouser. At the middle, you're going to put it at the front as well, and then you draw it, you sew it, dragging it, so that at the end of the day the both will be the same. Okay, so guys, after joining it and putting my drawstrings, this is my elastic waistband. Okay, I'm going to go again and serge it and bend it over. All right, so this is the 102 series. We're going to go ahead and drop the third series, which is going to be a garment. Okay, so do well to subscribe, turn on your notification. All right, share this tutorial so that your loved ones can watch them as well. See you in my next.